Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. We are still in the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And we're up to Matthew 7:24 and Luke 6:47, 49. And I'll write it down for you. I will. And this is for kind of a Bible study, kind of a homily. And so anyway, we're up to, can you see this? This is what we're doing today. Matthew and Luke, comparison. Same story. But what one doesn't have, the other one has. Matthew borrowed from Luke and improved upon it, and then left a few things out. Because you could see the gaps. You know? And yes, I've used paper clips for years as bookmarks. But anyway, we will start out with Matthew 7:24, 27. Everyone who hears the words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house upon the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house. But it did not fall, because it had been founded on a rock. And everyone who hears the words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house upon the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. I guess it was impressive watching it come down. Luke 6:47 through 49. Everyone who comes to me and hears my words, does them, and I will show you what it is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation upon the rock. I think he's talking about bedrock. You dig down here, you'll dig down about maybe 3-4 foot, and you're going to hit clay, which is hard as rock. I mean, that's our bedrock. That's pretty solid, really. It's hard to get through it with the shovel. And when the flood rose and the stream broke against that house and could not shake it because it had been well built. Everybody admires a well-built house. But he who hears and does not do to them, like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation, against which the stream broke, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. We've got gnats out here, mosquitoes today. We've had a lot of rain. I think it's part of the global warming process, whatever we're going through here. We're in the last days, and it has to do with what our sun is doing. The sun has got those corona holes. They have holes in the sun, and it's also flipping. So it's spinning around like the earth is, but then it's also going to rotate the other way. And it's causing some gravitational pull and causing the turbulence that we see down here, such as the volcanoes and the earthquakes. And they are saying that it's going to get worse before it gets better. So meantime, we're supposed to have this Antichrist come up out of Syria, or the old Syrian nations. And he's going to be a dictator. So watch for that. Watch for this guy. He'll be signing a treaty. They'll like him at first. And then he'll sign a treaty with Israel to allow them to build their temple. But I think he'll have a stipulation in there that he can have an office in there and have kind of a headquarters. And they'll go for it, and it'll cause a problem. Especially when he decides to declare himself God. And you think, who would do that? Someone who's crazy, right? Yeah. That was kind of, out there. And so we're anticipating this, and we're watching for it. And I'm like, if they know this is going to happen, the Jewish people, they know this is going to happen. It's scripture, and they kind of can see it happening. You think they would just say, let's skip the third temple. Let's just not build it. Might be a smart thing to do. Might be a smart thing to do. But, people never do with what's smart. It would be best if all the world could just get along, and we're here to help one another. That's what we're here for. War doesn't do anything. It just kills people. It doesn't solve problems. It creates more problems. So let's just help one another. Think about that. Help. We're here to help one another. Okay, like the song goes. This scripture is about following Christ and following God and doing what, we're told to do. And that's what you're building the house in the rock for, is you're doing what God tells you to do. Sorry, we got little bugs out here today. And he said to love one another. Yeah, really. Think about that. Now, the Christian Bible often talks about love. Loving one another, loving your neighbor, love, caring, respect. The Quran does not mention love once in their Bible. The Islamic Bible, the Quran, it doesn't mention love and caring for your neighbor, and it doesn't mention that. It has the same stories as the Old Testament and, our Bible. It has some of the same stories. But it doesn't mention love. And love is where it's at. Love is what's important. Anyway, this is what the rock, he says, building your house on the rock. Dig deep. Put in a good foundation. That's the foundation. The foundation is love. So, anyway, that's my theology. Take it for what you want. And that is my theology, and probably the theology of everybody else. What matters is love and caring. I taught comparative religions at Clinton Community College one semester. And that's because that particular teacher that they had, he was not informed that he was going to be teaching that semester. So he took off to Wisconsin. And he didn't have a teacher. So I came along and they said, yeah, you could teach for us. We've got this thick book for you to go through with the kids. And so we went through with all those different world religions, comparative religions, Philosophy 105. And I had them do cross comparison, one to the other, of all the different faiths. What do they believe? And there's great similarities with all of them. Big similarities. If you've ever noticed how kind and loving the Buddhists are. Yeah. And the people from India, how much love that they have for one another. Have you ever noticed that? You ever wonder why? Look at what they believe. It's similar to what we believe. I used to belong to a church. It was a Unitarian Universalist church. And they said the truth shines in through all the windows. So if you take the windows of the church, all those windows, you got light shining in, right? The truth shines in through all those windows. And the windows all represent a different faith or denomination. And but what really matters is love. That is your rock. Christ who taught love, and that is your rock. That is your foundation. And so anyway, we will go tomorrow. There's like this little sentence here. And then we got the healing of a leper. You'll like that. I will see you. Bye-bye.